Neevesknives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife Kara's about to bring me some damn coffee, which is awesome because I'm ready for it. I'm also gonna have her set me up with the page so that I can flip over to Instagram because there's a couple pictures I want to show you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully all is well with everybody. Talika, I will I'll hit you up after this with the price and everything. I think it was 5 altogether. I'll make sure I throw you a good deal though. Here comes that coffee. Hey baby, can you set me up this extra tab so that I can pop up Instagram? I won't forget, bud. I'll take care of it. Man, this new thumb stud. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this too. Is it hot or cold?
It's hot.
Nice. I did ask for hot. Thank you. Can you set me up with this other tab?
It's hot. Don't burn yourself and play.
Oh, that's delicious. Look at that stuff, guys. Look at that.
Good focus.
I know.
Okay.
I need to get a separate tab. I want to put Instagram there.
Watch me do it.
Okay.
Actually, no, you do it.
I don't know what to do.
Hit share.
Okay. Share. Share screen. Now what?
Okay, so you don't have a Chrome tab open. You need to open a new tab.
Just hit this one.
All right. Go to Instagram first. Do this before we actually open it. You're like, okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So it's already on ours, or
yeah,
no?
you may want to get to where you want to go. You don't want to accidentally click on messages or
that's what I'm
stuff like
saying.
that while you're on there. While they're so where are you trying to get to right now?
Man, I hate doing it on this computer because it's so confusing.
It's the same as the app.
No, it's not. Not the same as on my phone.
Okay, so it's the page you want to be on?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. So then now I can just go like this. Get rid of this, right?
No.
Oh, don't.
What do you got to open?
How do I get?
You opened a new tab, so you got to share it with them. You haven't shared anything.
Oh, just go share.
You're on share screen.
Chrome tab. I don't know what to do, baby. Just tell me.
Chrome tab.
Okay. So I just hit this, but then when I want to,
hit share. Okay, now go back to your screen right there.
Okay.
Now, you see that? Any of these screens with the white square on it, that means you're sharing your internet.
So they're looking at this right now. But what I'm saying though is when I want to
not share it with them.
Not share with them, I go like that. But how do I go back to Instagram now? I just go like this and then do whatever I want, and they can't see it. Right. Okay.
Listen, go back.
Okay.
As long as you're not, these three with the white square in them all contain a version of showing your tab. Everything else does not.
Everything else does not. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm right next to the mic. But yeah, so as long as you're not on one of those, or you can do stop screen, or you can hit remove. It's just then you have to go through.
Baby, can you do me one more huge favor?
Yeah.
Grab me that pad. I forgot it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, baby. You're the best. You're the best. Okay, so what I was showing here is check out this Hogue Ritter that BJ Hill modified with a Spidey hole. Now, if you guys remember, the Benchmade Griptilian, has.
Put your lid on to keep the heat in. I gave it to you.
I put it right here. Thank you, baby. The Benchmade Griptilian sheep's foot is like that. It has the the Spidey hole, which is my favorite version. Seeing this, man, that looks so badass. What the fuck is going on? Sorry, guys. I was putting in my phone code. That's a different code. Anyways, I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, it looks so sweet. Now, I was also thinking, wouldn't that be badass with a I had to pull up a tab so that I could hear it and make sure the sound was down. Wouldn't that be badass with a regrind plus the Spidey hole? Think about that. Don't forget to drop a like if you guys wouldn't mind. And I noticed I had a video the other day that hit like 20K, which I know I don't have 20,000 subscribers, so it makes sense that a lot of subscribers or a lot of people watch the video that are not subscribed. But in many videos, I check the analytics, and it tells me like 80% of the people are not subbed. So just so you guys know, I would love to have you guys sub if you're not. And my next goal is 10,000 subs. Everybody's got to have goals. So if you guys wouldn't mind helping me out with mine at 10,000 subs, I'd really appreciate your sub if you enjoy the content. But this damn knife looks so sweet. I would love to do that to a Hogue Ritter RSK one of the big versions, you know, not necessarily the small version, but the big version. Now this Sebenza, I had like 2 or 3 comments on the Instagram saying how did my Sebenza get so smooth? Why is it that smooth? It must be loose, right? This thing is as solid as any Sebenza can get. I mean, the pivot is all the way tight, because with Sebenzas, that's how you do it. You tighten them all the way down. Now, I will say, I don't take this thing apart. I haven't yet, because it's so damn smooth. Now, all I'm doing is taking lock bar tension off. Once you take the lock bar tension off, most Sebenzas that are broken in are smooth enough to drop. Now, if I just go like this and I just sit there like that, yeah, it's not like drop shutty or anything, but it's smooth enough to where it drops down if I slap it. But yeah, it's broken in. That's it. And yes, I can reverse flick it now that I got the new thumb stud. I love this new thumb stud. This new thumb stud is night and day difference. Anybody who hates the Sebenza thumb studs, get new thumb studs. I'm telling you, it will change the knife. Hands down, change the knife completely. I love the Sebenza, but I couldn't stand that thumb stud every time trying to open it. It just pokes you in the finger. No more poking for me. And it's this specific one, I got off of Etsy, and I've had great experiences with Etsy. Maybe other people haven't, but I've had great experiences with Etsy. It's people that have CNC machines and stuff, and they make them. This fit perfectly. Everything I've gotten from Etsy fit perfectly so far. Now, I'm not saying there ain't junk shit on there, because it probably is. You know, look around. But yeah, these thumb studs, man, very, very nice. I'm very happy with them. All right, so Spidey hole Sebenza. Dude, I know, right? That looks fire. I love the way that looks. I see them all the time, and I seen somebody post the other day. They said something about, because they had one. They had a Sebenza with a Spidey hole, and they made a comment saying, how did they say it? They said, everybody puts too much thought or too much credit or something, leverage or something into their warranties. And I think what he was trying to basically say was that you're too worried about your warranty to make the knife the way you want. And I can't agree more. That's why I don't do it. That's why I haven't put a Spidey hole in it, because I feel like something would happen the next day and I would want to use the warranty service. Now, for the most part, I have friends and myself that can fix small issues. But if the blade snaps, I would have to replace the blade by buying a new one. And if I drilled a hole in it and something happened, they're not going to replace the blade, which I don't see why not. You pay for it. They don't replace the blade. It's like $150 for that blade. It's a very expensive blade if you buy a new blade from them. So I don't know why they wouldn't. Is that fucking Mike Emler in here? What's up, Mike? Definitely go check out Mike Emler's content if you haven't already. He's got a lot of badass new content coming up left and right. He does lives all the time. I was on his live earlier today. I was at work, so I couldn't really talk too much, but always does great lives. I care about warranties to a certain point. Like I have right now, the knife that I was going to give away to the Patreons, I have to get a new screw. Now, I'll be honest, I really don't need, and I'm not flexing or anything like that. And I don't think it's necessarily that I have a channel, but concept of give me a fucking screw if I want a screw. You know what I mean? They're not going to hold out on a screw if I need one. And if I sent it into them, they would fix it. But I think they would do that for anybody. They're really good people. Hey, thank you. Meg Barrow, thank you. I got the black and purple Sumo in the mail today. Have you reviewed that? No, I have not reviewed the Sumo. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, though. It has kind of like a wicked look to it, right? I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can't. While this is man, I don't know where I'd find it actually. But yeah, that's awesome though. Good for you. What's up, Lacey? Lacey Marie's in the house. Okay, so I got a ton of stuff to talk about. And if you guys have any subjects you guys would like to talk about, just scream them out and I'll start talking about it. Yeah, a holdback. Yeah, a holdback sign. Yeah, I know exactly which one it is. And no, I have not reviewed that one. I've reviewed one holdback knife. And man, those things are beasts. Very good build quality. And, since we're talking about build quality, I'll just go right into it because I kind of want to talk about lock face geometry. A lot of people are, and in a lot of ways it is true, but a lot of people put a lot of credit into, or a lot of thought into that a frame lock is going to be stronger than a liner lock. A lot of times it is. A lot of times it's not. I've seen some very hard use, which you would imagine is hard use, frame locks fail. And it boils down, to the lock face geometry. A liner lock can be incredibly strong with great lock bar geometry, where when the pressure is pushed from the spine, so if you put pressure on the spine, it goes directly straight down onto the lock face rather than like pushing it out of the way. And with poor geometry, it's going to push it. And then it'll just slide out. Everybody's seen locks that have failed because they just get pushed out. But really strong ones, they just sit there and they put tension on it. So the way it's going to fail now is either it's going to get squeezed out or it's going to bend the lock bar. Now, with both being great, meaning a great frame lock with good lock face geometry and a liner lock, yes, a frame lock is stronger. But more times than probably none, I see frame locks with worse lock bar geometry than liner locks. Not all the time, but I do see it quite a bit. I have definitely failed a lot of frame locks that I never would have thought would have failed. Oh yeah. So if you guys don't know, Fiend sent me the box of knives and the M-Tech, he sent that fixed blade. He sent that as like a knife I can fuck up or a knife I can abuse, beat up, or do whatever I want. He says he doesn't care. I can review it or not review it. We're probably going to review it. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to go about it, but we already know that thing's got a shit heat treat, and maybe it'd be a good opportunity to kind of show that. I know I do have a couple other knives that could do the same thing. Somebody said it'd be cool to challenge that and the what the hell is that knife from Lefty EDC? Damn it, it's right here. The damn what the hell is it called? I don't even remember what the hell this thing's called now. The Shadow Ranger and that other fixed blade. Oh man, put them both together head to head, see which one comes out. The fixed blade probably would. I'll get to that. Anybody know what the N stands for? You guys know how Medfords, I got a Medford right here actually. You guys know how Medfords have like an S for S35, a 9 for S90V. I think D is for their CPM D2. What is the N for? Is that for Nitro V or something? I don't know what the N stands for, but I seen one with an N on it. And I was curious, what was the N for? Yeah, the greatest knife ever made. Yes, 47 watching, only 27 likes. I appreciate it if you guys do drop a like. It definitely helps me with the algorithm. If you like the content, if not, drop me a dislike. I like those too. I take those. So I think a couple people were a little bit confused on my my plunge grind rant. So I ranted about the plunge grind, and somebody left a comment, and I got to give it to you guys. A couple of you guys went in on them, and you guys had me cracking up because after that video, somebody left a comment and said, "With everything bad going on in the world, this is what you're complaining about." And somebody underneath them said, "With everything going bad in the world, this is what you chose to say," or some shit like that. This is what you chose to comment on. Oh, I love it. I was cracking up. I just had a guy send me a message that he unsubscribed because I love the Norse. And hey, Mike, did somebody get a hold of you on sharpening a Norseman? Somebody contacted me, asked me if I could sharpen a Norseman for him. I said, yeah, no problem. I said, but I have another guy that's done a lot of them, and he can do them basically like professionally, how they're supposed to be done. And I said, I can do that too. I said, but he's done a lot of them. I said, I recommend you talking to him. So a guy's probably going to be getting a hold of you. I know you're not quite sharpening right now at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to be getting a hold of you. Maybe you guys can set something up when you get your sharpening stuff set up, because I know you're in the middle of a move. The N word. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man. Are you the same Mike Emler, the knife designer? Yes, he is. Yes, that is Mike Emler, the knife designer. I actually have. I was just. Oh, sorry. Is it right here? I just had. Oh, right here. Bang. Yes. The designer of the sea snake. But yeah, definitely watch out for the comment, because I linked. Okay, he's going to be contacting you on your Instagram private messages. That's what I gave him, a link to your Instagram, just so you know, Mike. I don't have my workbench excavated. I'm sure you guys can figure something out for when you break out your stuff. And if you can't, just send them back. I can do it. I didn't know if you needed the business or not. Has anyone else been seeing a YouTube ad for those these are kitchen knives for, I forget the name, but I think it begins with a C. I don't think I have, but I get lots of ads like for like stuff like that, especially on Instagram. Anything I look up like on the internet, it'll just shit comes up. Got my K390 today. Nice. K390, that's what's up, man. Love me some K390. K390 is such a great steel. And sharpening it, holy shit. I've only ever tried it from Spyderco. But Spyderco, in my opinion, does a great heat treat on it, man. It feels so good. It gets so stupid sharp. And man, does that edge last a long time. And if you want an aggressive edge, it takes a very aggressive low grit and a very aggressive polish. Like when you polish it, it is stupid sharp. You got your K390 on the way back right now, Talica. Yeah, that thing, wait till you see it. The edge is so small on it because you got that regrind. So it is very small, but you'll feel it. It's very sticky. Very, very sticky. Hola, mi amigo. I think it's Culini or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many of them, those ads. Must be the only steel Spyderco does. I think that Spyderco is, and I honestly believe, and this is truly what I believe, because I do think that they weren't doing the best they could before, but I think they're stepping it up, and I honestly mean like within the past year and a half, maybe even the past year, because they got called out by so many cut test people and the people testing the actual HRCs. So it's difficult for a company right now to fucking slouch on their HRCs and their steels. But their K390, I can say I think it's done very well. I like it a lot. It's done very well. Now, their crew wear, right? I liked their crew wear. Their crew wear, in my opinion, I thought was done very well. And it probably was for a production knife. But it wasn't done nothing like this custom BGM knife. I mean, this crew wear, holy shit, is it done well? And you can tell, Mike, you know how it goes, Mike. As soon as you hit the stone, you can feel it on the stone, like how, just how that steel, how hard it feels compared to your stone, and how well it sharpens up, how well it takes an edge, and how easy it is to sharpen, because soft steels will be harder to sharpen. They just will be. They're obviously, you want to use good stones. Don't use shit stones, but saying that you're using a low grit, medium grit, moving your way up like you should be, soft steels, man, just they don't sharpen up as good as good hard steels. It's K390. Yes, it's similar. Sharpening it, in my opinion, I don't really notice much difference between Maximet and K390 sharpening it. Now, I'm sure there's a difference. Other people might notice a difference. I try to use always diamonds, especially with those, and I start with a very low grit. But some people might not think it's bad, because some people have problems sharpening Maximet. Especially if you're not starting off with a diamond plate or a diamond stone. If you're starting off with a diamond stone, you're going to have way better results, especially an aggressive one, to start off with, to set your bevel and everything. But yeah, it is kind of similar. And you're going to get corrosion and stuff like that, so you got to keep it dry. It's not a steel you want to cut lemons with and just leave sitting on the counter. It will patina, and patina fast. So just keep it dry, keep it oiled. What's up, John? John Evans in the house. Garrett, have you handled the TS221? No, and I haven't tried any M398 either. I'm guessing it's similar to M390, but I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. And talking about M390, all right, Mike, take it easy, bud. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, no problem, man. We need to get back together again on one of these lives. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Jared, did I win all 4 giveaways? Listen, guys, I don't know how many Patreons are in here, but if you're a Patreon and you're in here right now, listen up. So if you comment on the giveaway or the video where you enter, make sure it's on YouTube, because there's the video on Patreon. I'm not sure if it just sends you right to YouTube. Look, make sure your comment is on the video that's uploaded on YouTube. Only you guys can see that. Other people can't see that video. Only the patrons can see it. But just make sure that you're commenting on the one on YouTube. That's the one I'm going to grab the comments from. Maybe comment on the Patreon one, and if it goes over to the YouTube one, you can still see the comment, then you're fine. But make sure your comment shows up on the YouTube one. Just leave a thumbs up. It doesn't matter. You don't have to comment nothing crazy. Give me a thumbs up. Whatever you want. Doesn't matter. How do I become Patreon? I link in every video. Scroll all the way down in the description. At the bottom is a link to the Patreon. And if you become a Patreon, you are involved in monthly giveaways. Sometimes I mess up, and like last month, I didn't get the giveaway. So this month we're doing 3. And we got way more than just 3 items. We got a bunch of items. I'm even going to give away, actually, because Kara hasn't been using it, I'm going to give away that black Real Man Real Leather to one of you guys. Since 2 of you guys are already getting some of the wallets with a knife, I figure I might as well do that for the 3rd person. So there's going to be 3 types of leather, 2 wallets, the real man, real leather, 3 knives. We'll throw some stickers in there, some other swag. We're going to hook it up. I heard Cooch high regards about M390 from the EDC community, but my girlfriend hates sharpening it. Thoughts? Okay. I don't know. I don't have a problem sharpening any steel. 90% of the time when somebody has a problem sharpening a steel, thank you, Fiend. Thank you very much, bud. When people have a problem sharpening the steel, 90% speak are using the wrong type of stones. A lot of these super steels, and some people might, think differently, but in my opinion, a lot of these super steels, you want and need a diamond stone, diamond plates or diamond stones. They just cut better, cut faster. And when I used to use aluminum oxide, because I've sharpened M390 on aluminum oxide, some people don't mind doing it, but when I used to do it, yes, I would have very aggressive aluminum oxide stones that would sharpen it. But my edge wouldn't last as long, for one. But two, sharpening it, like I even though it was a very aggressive stone, I wouldn't see the results. And if you're sharpening one that has a lower HRC, something that's a little softer, it's going to be hell on aluminum oxide versus a diamond. Now, if it's a very hard, well heat treated one, you might get a little bit better results, maybe. How much are the different levels on Patreon? There is no different levels. It's just $3 is how you can be a Patreon. Anything lower than that, you're not in the giveaways. At least, that's the way I've always said it. But you can donate whatever you want. But it goes $3 and up. I don't put tiers just because I don't, I appreciate every donation, and I just give basically people that I want people to go there to want to support. If you're going there just to win stuff, then you might as well only give me fucking $3 a month. If you're just, to be honest, just to have a chance to win something. But if you're going there to support, you can support by doing whatever you want. $15 a month, $5 a month, $10, $20 a month, whatever. And then you can get a discount if you do the whole year. So it's not going to, I don't know if it comes out right away. I think it comes out once a month, but basically you're just saying that I'll be a Patreon for a year. And every month it might take it all at once. I'm not positive, but either way, if you do that, you save like a certain percentage. You save some money that way, but then you're involved in 12 giveaways. Possibly more, because like I said, I'm going to do these differently a little bit differently. Before I was doing it just all the Patreons. I would just grab a name out of all the Patreons. Now I'm actually going to show you guys. This is what I'm giving away. Whoever wants to win it can join. If you don't want to do that, then you can get up on the next one. And it's usually more than one thing. So yeah, Metallica did a whole year. That's kind of the way to do it. But if Russ did a whole year, it's the way to do it. Because you save money for one, and a lot of you guys are gonna wind up doing it. A lot of you guys do it to support, and you guys have no idea how much I appreciate that. So, and then the winning something is just a perk. You guys have supported me before I ever even fucking started a Patreon. So it's not like I don't know that. I see that. So I wanted to talk about, what the hell does that say? A rock. Oh, I know what that means. I know what a rock means. Oh, Rocky. Look at that beauty. Oh, she's a beauty. She drops too, like the Sebenza. The Sebenza and this knife are very similar with the smoothness. My Sebenza. Now, I said it before. That is the smoothest Sebenza I've ever felt. But I need to get the grease on this one. So I wanted to talk about why geometry is even more important than just the cutting performance. So a lot of people think you get right in your head when you think of geometry and cutting geometry. You think of just cutting. It's going to cut better. It's going to pass through materials better than, bad geometry, but it's even more than that. It's even more than that because with poor geometry, yes, it doesn't cut as good, but also when you sharpen it, it's going to get thicker and look worse. So think about this. Think about buying a $500 knife. Say if you invested $500. Some of you guys, and think of it from a perspective that you don't buy $500 knives. So you buy a $500 knife, you put a big investment into that knife. Are you going to use it? Like, really think about it. Are you going to use it? Will you sharpen it? Like, will you sharpen that knife? Most people won't. And the reason why is because the value decreases. And it especially decreases if it looks like it's lost steel. So if you take a knife that looks like it has been sharpened 5, 10, 15 times, it looks now it's used and abused. That's what it looks like. So if you have bad geometry on that knife, one sharpening to maybe two sharpenings will make a knife look that way. Now you have a knife that you spent a bunch of money on that you don't even want to sharpen because you don't want to remove steel from it because you don't want it to lose value that fast. Now you take a knife with good geometry, you can sharpen it 5, 6, 7 times and it still looks brand new. It barely got thicker. What's up, EDC Journey? It barely gets thicker. Barely. If not, like with the Sebenza, it gets even thinner after the first couple sharpenings because it actually goes like this. The hollow goes in and then back out. So it actually gets a little thinner during the first couple sharpenings. But if knives have a good sharpening tool with a great plunge grind and geometry, I don't care if it's set up for hard use or cutting performance, if the geometry is done right, it will not look like you even sharpen it aside from the edge looking good, right? But I'm saying it won't look like you removed any steel. Like I remember when I sharpened my zero tolerance 0450 the first time, it looked like I sharpened it 10 times. It literally did. It killed my soul after sharpening that knife because now I took a knife that needed a new edge, but now I just felt like I just fucked it all up, even though I didn't do anything wrong. It just had a new edge on it, but because of the bad geometry, bad sharpening choil, and it's a very short knife, it looked like shit. It looked like it's aged now. It looks old. Now, if that same knife had a good sharpening choil, good plunge grind with a hollow grind, or just a thinner blade, it wouldn't look like that. When I buy a knife, it's Addiction. It's an Addiction 1983. When I buy a knife for however much money it was, I have every intention of keeping it forever and using them, whether it be little use or a lot. Yeah, I'm the same way. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people will take, if they have two knives, right? They have, say, $100 knife versus a $500 knife, and they're about to go cut boxes. They're going to use the $100 knife because they don't want to remove steel from that expensive knife. What if they can trade it? And I understand wanting to keep a good trade value or resale value. Understandable. Everybody wants to. But think about it. If it had those 3 things I just mentioned, it would. You would not be taking value away from that knife. That knife would still hold more value. Even after multiple sharpenings, it would look the exact same. And that's one of the great benefits to having the good geometry, great geometry. And like I keep talking about, the plunge grind and a sharpening choil. I know some people were confused about my video, and I keep saying it's not about the sharpening. A little bit about the sharpening choil, but it's about the plunge grind, because the plunge grind is from the thickest point, which is the stock thickness, to how it drops down to the cutting edge. Now, if that slowly drops down to the cutting edge, Well, that's steel that's slowly getting thinner. So if you hit that when you're sharpening, it's going to be a warped spot. If it instantly drops down like very fast, kind of like the Sebenza, you don't even see a plunge grind on the Sebenza because look at that. You don't even see the plunge grind. It's under the titanium. You can't even see it. That's so badass. It's so thin. But a lot of knives put it so close to the cutting edge that you have to, and it's like I said, the plunge grind specifically, because you can have a massive sharpening choil and the plunge grind go all the way to the edge. Medfords. Think about Medfords. Medfords always have a smile. Why? Because even though they have a nice sharpening choil, their plunge grind goes all the way to the edge. Sorry to beat a dead horse, but sometimes you got to beat horses to death. All right. So I had like a little thing I was going to talk about because it was like going on in my head about how knives being like hammers. Maybe this won't translate because now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of people haven't used hammers. And I'm thinking about it because I grew up doing construction. So hammers was just like an everyday part of life. I used hammers every day, all day. But I was thinking about it like, your hard use knife is like your sledgehammer. It has to be able to take an insane amount of abuse. That's what it's for. It's for hitting things that your hammer won't move, right? Hitting whatever, like say if I have to scoot a wall over, right? Or if I have to hammer stakes, my hammer won't work. It won't do it. So I have to pull out my sledgehammer. Well, kind of like with a hard use knife. You're using a hard use knife on things that your performance knife or regular EDC won't work on. Like that's why I go to prying and wedging and chopping. You can't chop with your little folder, right? Batoning. There ain't really too many uses for batoning, but sometimes there is. Now, with your regular hammer, what is that for? That's for all the regular work. Knocking in nails, moving stuff over, pulling stuff out, scraping, wedging, prying. Your hammer is just your versatile tool that you use on everything. The sledgehammer only comes out when your regular hammer, say a 20-ounce hammer, won't work. Now, then you have the little hammers. What are the little hammers for? The little tiny hammers that you have around the house that your grandma has or your mom has in the drawer. I don't fucking even know what ounces they're, like an 8-ounce hammer or something. It's not a framing hammer. A framing hammer, in my opinion, I always have a 20 to 22 ounce hammer. That's a framing hammer. So that's what I always have. Excuse me. And but those little ones, what are those for? Those are for literally putting in tacks. That's it. They're for putting tacks in your wall, maybe hanging some pictures. Very, very light duty stuff, like your small EDC knife. What's that for? Picking your nails, cutting a string, cutting a tag, opening a package, maybe cutting some fruit or something like that. Just little light duty things, cutting strings. But I was thinking about that, and I putting it in the perspective of hammers, it really gives you an idea of where the hard use knife really sits in real world use. It's not very comfortable in real world use. Not until you get into, like, say, demolition, construction, camping, outdoor stuff, shit like that. In all reality, most regular EDC knives are just as capable for anything you're going to do, unless if you're going to be chopping, prying, or scraping, stuff like that. EDC versus working knives. All right, let's do that one. So a work knife to me, and this is just me, my opinion, and you can put, it doesn't matter if you want to say this, because the Sebenza is a workhorse, in my opinion. But in my opinion, a work knife is going to be that knife that tar can get on. Now, of course, you're going to clean it, but it's going to be that knife that you scrape across concrete, wood, shingles. You cut shingles with it. You'll cut carpet with it. You'll do things that you're not going to use your EDC for. And why? Well, because your EDC, you want to keep sharp. You want that in your pocket for when you run across the task or a daily whatever you do, your edge has to be sharp. Your work knife is one that you use no matter for whatever. That's what it's for. It's there for you to cut whatever. Now, obviously, you're going to try to keep it sharp, but there's also razor blades, right? When you really have to cut into, say bags of concrete or something, which you can use your pocket knife for, but certain things, right? If you really have to scrape, like say I cut, like when I did siding, fascia, and gutters, I had to cut a lot of aluminum. I didn't take my pocket knife out to cut aluminum, but a few times I did. But I was guaranteed my edge would be wrecked. That's why I like to use my tip, because instead of wrecking my entire edge, I would just wreck the tip. Yes, it would be wrecked within a few cuts, but a razor blade, you can use that for, and then keep the pocket knife for the easier stuff, like, say, certain types of paper. And I'm thinking all construction stuff, but you can go with whatever you want. Even like my job right now, I can bring an EDC knife to work because most of my tasks at work are EDC-able tasks. I'm cutting plastic straps, cardboard, plastic, things like that. Now, there are some days where I'm abusing my knife, and in that instance, I bring a work knife. Would like to hear your thoughts on M390 Mannix. Okay, so I have two ideas on that. Give me 1 second. I carry my Bestech Texel and Teal Design fixed blade style utility knife to work every day. Those are my work knives for the utility if I'm cutting belts or rubber against the concrete floor. Awesome. Nice. It's nice to know what like what works for you. What is the best that you can use? Like with me with work, sometimes I'm on the fence of what I'm going to bring to work because I might not necessarily know what I'm going to do. So in that, that type of problem, I bring two different styles of knives. The knife that this is most likely what I'm going to do, and this knife is for the just in case. Now M390. So I think Spyderco does a decent job with it. I honestly do. I think Spyderco of all companies is doing probably for production knives of mid-range value. I think they're doing about the best. Now, obviously, there's companies that do it better, but you're talking a lot more money. But in the grand scheme of things, let's be honest, guys, M390 is not the shit. It's not. It really is not. Look, flip a fucking coin. Take all your M390 knives right now, and each one of them, I want you to flip a coin, because that's the chances you have of having a good heat treat on that M390. Just saying, guys. It sucks, and I hate it too, because I have more M390 than anything. I really do. I have more M390 than any other steel, most likely. And it does hurt to know that, half of them are probably low HRC, not that great a heat treat. And then I got half of them that are decent. Maybe one, or no, I guess I have a few that are actually really, and I mean really good. But the overwhelming majority are in the decent to not great arena. Now, not great M390 is still going to perform just fine. It's going to perform just like S35 or S30V. That's basically what and I'm repeating things, guys. I hope you guys understand that. I have my own tests that I do, right? But I can't base everything off of my tiny little, reality. I have to go to Outpost 76, Cedric and Ada, other people that have done HRC tests, and with all the information combined, including the things that I've done, it's like it's a shot in the bucket with M390. Now, when it's done, not that great. I mean, it's basically like S30V, S35. Now there are going to be outliers or good ones out there that where you're lucky you got a good one, and it's going to perform almost as good as what M390 should. But it's rare. It's very rare that you're going to find or buy M390 or 20 CV that is done the way it's supposed to be. You got to think about that. What does that mean? The way it's supposed to be. Well, it's supposed to be, I think its good zone for HRC is between 62 and 64. I think that's its happy zone for the best results. Now, if we can get between 61 and 62, I think we're pretty happy. Even 60 to 62, we're pretty happy. But when you start getting into which the overwhelming majority of all companies, what were they doing it at? 58 to 60. That's what and they never hit 60. It was very rare we ever seen M390 at 60. That's awesome to hear. Oh, he's not talking to me. TRM 20CV and Tuya Knives M390 are both awesome. Now, Tuya, see what happened was Tuya got, I'm not going to say caught because it wasn't like they were trying to do it. They found out from the testings and results that their M390 was not great. It wasn't heat treated like they advertised. So they advertised, I think, 60 to 61, and it wound up being like a 58, 57, 58 or something like that. But they did what they were supposed to do, and hats off to them. I think Tuya's great. I think Dave Warren's great. And they took any knife that was done, around the time that if somebody thought they had a soft heat treat, and they would switch it out. They would switch the blade out, and they improved their heat treat. So they moved it up to what they were advertising, because you can't be mad if it's 57 to 59. If that's what they advertised, they fucking told you, right? It's like, ordering a Chevy Cavalier than being mad that a Chevy Cavalier showed up. So, but they were advertising something higher, and they did move it up. Now, what was the other one you said? TRMs, they've had good and bad results. I've had good results with them personally, but I've seen both. Like, Outpost 76 had one that was good and one that wasn't great. Am I still clear to you guys? Can you guys see me good? Looks like we're getting a little sketchy over here. Knife Sergeant's in the house. What's up, Knife Sergeant? Yeah, Canada's in here. Give us a second. Because I want to shout something out about Knife Sergeant. So, Knife Sergeant wound up getting one of the those, what is it? One of these. Let me get it up here. I'm not sure which one he got. Let's see if we can get it pulled up. So Knife Sergeant got one of these sweet ass customs, which I think is awesome. Somebody else did too. After watching my video, Knife Sergeant wound up getting because they do have a regular version, and then they have the integrals. He got, I think, the integral with LMAX. I think that's what he got. That's sweet, man. So sweet. This is definitely one of my grails. I think it just looks amazing. I love it. I really do. What the fuck did I just do? Let me go like this. Yeah, they do have a thumb stud version as well. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking. Hold on. All right. Go back. Hold this B sharp. You guys ready for this? Bang! That is so beautiful to me. I think that is an amazing looking knife. So good for Knife Sergeant. I think that's amazing, and I'm happy. Yeah, and yeah, I did. Ryan got one too. He didn't get the integral version because in order to get the integral version, it's like $350 more. So if you're going to invest in something like this, you're going to have decisions. You're going to have choices. What steels, if you want the integral or not. Certain decisions are going to change the price. So, it's got to fit your budget and, what you want. But I think it's awesome that he gives you the opportunity to make decisions. That's amazing. So good for you guys. I'm getting that. I think that's so awesome. I've got over 100 in my rotation. All premium steel is fine. I'll send them to you for sharpening. Anytime. Just hit me up. Speaking about sharpening, so I haven't yet, you guys. I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to in the future, pretty soon. Who knows when? Invest in a KME. Why is a professional freehander investing in a KME? What is he, crazy? Well, I'm doing it because, I sharpen a lot of knives. These hands can only take so much, and I love it. I love doing it. I could do it all day. But eventually your hands do, there's only so much you can take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a KME so that I can offer both. Right now I do offer, sorry, I'm sitting here flicking the Wii Malice. It's probably all in your guys' ear, but I'll still offer the freehand. So you can pay for the freehand, save a few bucks and get the fixed angle system. But that way I'll be able to do a really good professional edge. The Wicked Edge is just too expensive for me. Knife Sergeant, I personally know I can get the same results. Now, I know the Wicked Edge is amazing. It's an amazing system. But with the KME, with the right stones, I'll be able to get the same level of edge. So that way I'll be able to offer a professional freehand edge or a professional fixed angle system or belts. The belt sharpening is basically a factory edge. It's what it is. It's a factory edge. So, but without a burnt factory edge. So a factory edge half the time is burnt. So my factory edge won't be burnt. It's with a belt, same thing like a factory. But I recommend getting those like for kitchen knives, fixed blades, stuff like that. So if you guys want sharpening, you guys have a bunch of kitchen knives you guys want to send in, I would recommend that because they only charge like $10 a piece. And if you're sending a bunch of knives at once, you only have to pay one charge of shipping. So, and then it winds up working out to where if you do have something nice, you can spend the extra money on a freehand edge on that. Or, once I get the KME, I offer a fixed angle system, but it's not a KME edge. So you got to do what's best for you, but you already do an amazing job for him. Thank you, Lacey. Thank you. Yeah, my problem is I can, like I said, I can only handle so much. So say if I do, and I'm just, talking shit, freehand it can be faster or take longer. It depends. So it just really all depends. But my point is that after doing 3-4 knives in a row, your hands start cramping up. There's only so much they can take. And I want to do this on a professional business level. When I go in, I go all in, all the way in. So I want to take on as much sharpening jobs as possible. So me having that system will allow me to sharpen more knives faster without, cramping. And, I can do both. And then I can keep pumping out the sharp knives. It'll be just as good of an edge. It's not like one's going to be better than the other. I'm going to do the exact same thing. It's going to be an angle that's held. It's going to have a grit. You could choose the grit, and I can do a polished, a low grit. Same thing with the freehand that I offer. The one difference with freehand is you can blend a little bit better. I'll be honest. So with the fixed angle system, sometimes it just depends, really. Because if you have the right stones, you can blend pretty good. But sometimes if you have a grind that's off, where it's thinner and thicker in different areas of the blade, say in different areas, with freehand, you can manipulate it a little bit and work that out. With a fixed angle system, you can't. So that's the one benefit to freehand. Now, not always. And if you just hold that same angle and run it, it's going to look the exact same as the fixed angle. You have to put in a lot of extra work to figure that shit out. I sharpen on the sidewalk curb. He's doing them good edges over there, boy. He's got them good edges, them curb edges. Charging extra over there. What else did I want to talk about? What the hell did that mean? Man, sometimes I need to write better. I'd be writing some crazy ass shit thinking, oh, you'll know what you're talking about. Or write down something stupid like point and duplicate video. What the fuck does that mean, Jared? I don't even know what I was talking about, but whatever. You'd think I'd remember. What was I talking about? Talking points. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know where Breeze is. I actually was going to tell a story about him, but I'm going to hold back on it now. How much would you charge to sharpen on the bottom of a coffee cup? I don't know if you'd want me to do that, but hell, I'll fuck your knife up for free. I don't know, probably the same thing I'd charge freehand. I could do it. It's not hard. It's just like sharpening on a ceramic stone. So if you actually wanted, right? So a coffee cup would do good for honing. So if you've used your knife, if it's already sharpened, you've used your knife, and you just need to touch it up, coffee cup will work great. You can touch your edge up really easily on a coffee cup, especially if you have some cardboard or some leather to strop after. Now, if you are sharpening and you've went through your grits and you're on your last grit, it'd work great for burr removal, or maybe honing at the end, depending on the coffee cup. You could touch your edge up a little bit at the end, but it probably wouldn't come out the best because it's not a flat surface. But you could absolutely do good burr removal, which would make your edge very sharp, but that would have to be at the end. There's fucking Breeze. Okay, yeah, Breeze got bad internet service tonight. Just get vaccinated, Breeze. Is that what that said? Built in FG or 5G. I see what he means. Yeah, car window pretty good when you need to bring the edge back. Yeah, a lot of things will work great like that to hone an edge, to bring an edge back, to knock off a burr, or to fix a rolled edge. Because basically all you're doing is, say your edge is like this. What you're doing is your edge is like this. So what you're doing is you're gonna say a coffee cup, right? Say if your edge is like this, from using it, it's folding. So you just do one swipe. Now your edges went like this. And then you do it again, straighten it back out and get back, and you get it to form back perfect. Now, if it's an actual burr, it's like this. And what you're doing is you're knocking that tip off and exposing the apex. But yeah, a lot of those things will work. So if you guys don't have Dremels, I encourage you guys to invest in a Dremel. A little $20 Dremel. You can get them at Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's. They're very cheap. You can order them on Amazon for $30, maybe less. Get some bits, but they will help you so much with your knives, with cutting in choils, doing little finishes, just doing little touch-up details. So many little things you can do with the Dremel, that especially for knife collecting. And if you're gonna be if you're gonna mod your tools, because it's awesome to keep buying new knives, but what else is really cool is when you have a knife you love and there's just little details you'd like to change about it or improve on it, getting scales, etching, anodizing, dyeing, all those little things, man, they're awesome and fun to do and incredibly easy to do. Now, when you talking about somewhere like the knife modder shit, yeah, send it in to knife modders, let them do the work. But if you're just gonna dye some G10, swap some scales, cutting a choil in, you can do it yourself at home. Now, you can also send it to me, and I have no problem charging you a few bucks at doing it. But getting a Dremel will help you do a lot of little details that are very easy to do at home. And I've done videos on them to help you guys. Soon, I'm going to do a video on doing patina on some copper for you guys, how to turn that copper blue. I'm going to do that very soon. What else is, we'll save that one for later. I don't know if we'll talk about that. So, blue copper, yes, blue copper is sick. It's fucking awesome. It looks really good. And there's different levels. So there's red. There's 3 different colors you can change your copper to. Jared's gonna, I got a titty patina knife coming, actually. I didn't even, listen, I've told you guys, I don't join any giveaways, and I do that because I don't feel like I deserve them. And I say that because everybody in the community that enters the giveaways should have a better chance than me winning. So I don't enter any of them. But, EDC Journey is another story. He entered me into Titty Patina's giveaway, and I won a copper Delica. He won a copper 940, and B. Wallace, anything knife related, won something else. I don't know what third place was. I forget. He's in here right now. What did Wallace win? Do you remember what Brian won? But yeah, I'm shaming you, dog. I'm shaming you. No shame at all. I'm just saying, I tell people all the time I don't enter giveaways anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore because I feel bad. Think about it. Companies send me knives. People have blessed my channel, and they donate knives to me to keep content rolling and help me with giveaways, because we give away so many damn knives. So it's nice having that flow of stuff coming in from the community. Now, how the fuck would I be entering a giveaway and winning somebody's chance to win a knife when I already have that stuff coming in? It just doesn't make sense. But like with you, EDC Journey, as of right now, I'd be entering all the small, I've said this before, enter small channels giveaways. If you want chances to win, enter Patreons and enter small channels. Patreons, there's not a lot of people in on the giveaway, so you have a good chance. Small channels, not a lot of people in the giveaway. You have a good chance. So keeping up with that stuff, but keep up with it. Watch their content. Obviously don't be a dick and join giveaways where you don't even watch the content. Hell, I've had that plenty of times. But I think at this point, do you know the first year we probably gave away, just in the first year we had this channel, just in one giveaway, we did 10 knives. In one giveaway, we gave away 10 knives. And one of them was a TRM. Shout out to TRM. But we probably give away 30 knives a year at least. I mean, I have to imagine it's at least 30 knives, especially with Kara fucking giving shit out. Every time she meets somebody, oh, my husband's got a knife for you. I'm just joking. I'm fucking with her, but no, we do give away a lot of knives. But I love it. I love doing that shit. I love giving knives away, especially to people. I got one guy. He comments in my videos all the time, and you know what his comment is? Hey, Jared, you know, I love knives. I don't have a lot of money to keep buying knives. If you have any knives that you're sick of, bored with, or just don't like, would you mind donating them or passing them on to me? I said, you know what, bud? Yeah, no problem. I said, you want a knife? Hit me up. I've told him that probably 10 times now, and he literally keeps leaving the same damn message. And I keep telling him, I forget his name now, but it's whatever it is. Let's call him Nick. I don't know what his name is, so I'm just making that up. Hey, Nick, I think I've told about 5 times now to fucking message me on Instagram or message me through email. And he must not read the message I send back to him. So how the hell would I ever send you a knife if you don't read the message I reply back to you? I don't know. But I think it's hilarious because I was willing to throw him some knives, you know, like, hey, if you honestly need some damn knives and you can't afford to get any knives right now, I'll send you a knife. But you gotta, I'm not going to give you my address in the comments. There's people who don't value their kneecaps, apparently. Shabazz looking to him for sharpening. Same with Knife Junkie. What does that mean? Shabazz looking to him for knife sharpening? I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and I feel left out. Kitty, what kind of patina is that? I'm gonna be a patron, Carrie. What's up, Ethan? I'll take your Sebenza. Everybody wants that damn Sebenza now that I got my new thumb stud. Now that I got that new damn stud on it that works fantastic. Shout out to Stasa23 for giving me the idea after he changed his on his little Sebenza. And I seen other Sebenzas with them, but after I seen Stasa and he was like, you know, he wouldn't carry his before, you know, because he's got problems with his hands, you know, from his chemical burns or whatever. But he was like, man, it's so much more comfortable. I actually got some, I'll wait till it gets here to tell you about it, but I got some giveaway stuff on the way. And I also got another Civivi, I think, on the way. I need a Sebenza. Haha, I was just trying to type there. Couldn't type fast enough. Have you tried Sebenzas yet? You definitely should. So blade to handle ratio. What do you guys think about blade to handle ratio? I need a Shuro Gora Arctic Dr. Death. Churros are fucking fire. What's up, Richie B? Shout out to Knife Modders. Definitely go get your knives modded by Knife Modders. Richie B and Lindy Lou. Best knife modders in the community, in my opinion. He just did some Cerakote. I think it was Cerakote or ceramic coating. I think it was Cerakote. So he's working out Cerakote, so he's going to be able to offer that to people, which is fucking amazing. Being able to do Cerakotes on knives. I think you can do with Cerakote. I think it's any color, if I'm correct. Ceramic and Cerakote, I believe you can do colors, but I'm not 100% positive. Me too. I'll take a 2 cent. Everybody wants something now. You guys ain't getting shit. You guys got to enter the giveaways. Enter the giveaways. I knew if I talked that story, everybody'd be like, well, I'll take 1. I'll take 2. I'll take your Medford. I like the full handle on a knife, but a full handle on a short blade just looks strange. 45% blade, 55% handle is ideal for an EDC folder. Well said. Seems logical. So I got the thought from Ben Banters because, oh, Telica wants a hug. Ben Banters has that new knife coming out. This one. Okay, so I did a post. I'll pull it up really quick because I did a post earlier on Instagram. And it's how do I get rid of this? It's pretty damn sweet. So go to my channel. Oh, it's over here. Fuck you. Okay, maybe I'll go like this. I'll just go like this. There we go. There we go. So I'll just go to Ben Banters. I don't know why I'm doing that. What am I, an idiot? An idiot. Okay, so Ben Banters, he has his new knife. If you guys watched my Instagram video earlier, I posted a picture of it. Here it is right here. And so if you look at it, you got, it's smaller. It's about a 1/2 inch smaller. Did Ethan do a donation just now? Ethan, thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks, Jared and Kara. My ship out date moved from June 15th to June 24th. Not sure if it's official, and everyone who's here hearing this news first on here, carrying the Hinder XM18 3.5 Spanto. Awesome, man. Very awesome. Very, very. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the donations, and you guys are awesome. The donations help massively with this channel and running the content. All the support that I get massively helps and keeps the channel going. Without the support, remember that, guys. Without the support you guys give, this ain't a channel. Whether it's $1, a knife, a like, a subscription, whatever. That's all, a comment. That's all how this channel is even going. So thank you. Now, if we look at this knife, it's smaller than the original one. And I will, let me see. If you look at, he's got a thing next to the original. I don't know if I can flip through it in these, but it's smaller than the original one. And if you look, it's got that finger twirl, right? Which makes the cutting edge that much smaller. So when people look at it, I can see people thinking, oh man, blade to handle ratio is just way off. Really, it's not, because you do have the choil. So kind of like a Spyderco, right? You get a Spyderco and you have the finger choil right here. It's kind of the same thing, but in this case, what they're going to do is you're going to have your 3 fingers down here and the 1 finger up by the blade. That's going to be the whole thing. That's how that knife's going to be, which is awesome. But some people have an issue with blade to handle ratio. They can't stand looking at it. And Spydercos, I think, are a good example of bad blade to handle ratio. You know what? That new knife from Ben Banters, it's kind of like this, ain't it? It's very similar to the Brower, but smaller, obviously. So it's kind of like a Brower Banter. Anyways, my point is that sometimes it's not a bad thing to have. Is my mom in here? What's up, Aunt Dawn? Hey, Mama. It's not a bad thing to have poor blade to handle ratio. Now, I know I even like good blade to handle ratio. It's really cool when you see that blade just fits so perfectly into the handle, whether it's in between the scales or the length. Like, just when you could see, like, man, how did they fit all that blade in that handle? That's very nice. But sometimes with a smaller knife or medium size, in order for you to get a nice big grip and still, with a small cutting length, because you're basically getting a little blade, but a full grip. And if you can understand that, it's nice. Like, say you can have a small blade, right? But then you're not going to have, you're not going to be able to hold on to it. Yeah, you can still hold on to it, but it's small. Where do I have a small knife? Here we go. When you get something small, it's kind of like this, right? If I only had this, I got a 3-finger knife now with all that blade. It's better to be able to get a full grip, even with a little blade. It's like, yeah, you only have a little blade, but man, now you have maximum amount of leverage into your cuts rather than a shitty amount of leverage with a small blade. I'd rather have good grip with a small blade than shitty grip with a small blade. I love full-size knives, even when wearing basketball shorts. I do the same thing, Metallica. I literally, like, I carry, even right now, I'm wearing jogging pants, and I'll carry a full-size knife right on the belt. Like, I'll just carry it right here, just like this. I don't mind. And, it doesn't matter either. It's like everybody complains about, or not complains, but because of the weight, I never have an issue on my belt, even with basketball shorts, jogging pants. I mean, that's the wee malice right there. That ain't a light knife. That's a full-size, knife. No problems. And if you guys seen, my boxers were pair of thieves. So I know you guys were trying to look what kind of boxers I'm wearing. Pair of thieves. Decent boxers. They're okay. They're pretty good quality, actually. The finger choil should minimize any damage should the lock fail to. The finger choil should minimize any damage should the lock fail. The finger choil. What do you mean? I'm curious. I'm trying. I feel like I understand what you're saying. But the finger choil should minimize any damage should the lock fail. You mean while it's in your hand? I guess, yeah, because if you're hanging on to it by the blade, yeah. Or even if you're down here, if it folds, it's not going to cut you. It's going to hit right there. So yeah, I see what you mean. If that's what you mean. Hopefully that's what you mean. All right, you're getting on the TV to listen? All right, boss. If the lock fails, your finger keeps it open. Right. Yeah, whether you're holding it like this or if you're holding it like this. Because if you're holding it like this, watch when it drops. It hits your finger. This is a dope little knife. And this is kind of what made me think about that. Especially looking, or actually it was Ben Banter's new knife that made me think about it. But I've always liked this little Brower. Full grip. Little tiny blade, but very useful. I mean, this is kind of like the same thing that Ben Banter's is. And that's why I want to get one. I think it's awesome. And this is very well made. So you talking to me? Oh, she's on her game. She be talking loud as hell sometimes. Do you have that Sage Maximat? Bang! Right there. Yeah, same thing with this. This one's a little bit bigger, though. Bigger than those ones. Because the Ben Banter's is going to be pretty damn small. Let's see how small it's going to be. It's going to be a 1/2 inch smaller than this. Let me get a knife that's a 1/2 inch smaller. Oh, man. Is it going to be quite that small? Let's see here. So I got the Malaya right here. Oh, it's gonna be basically the size of the Malaya with a finger choil. So think of a Malaya with a finger choil right there. That's the way the new knife is gonna be. Or you can look at like the Kaiser Shard. Same thing. It's gonna be basically like that. 3 fingers there, 1 finger over that, kind of like that. Just finished sharpening my PM2 reprofile to 23 degrees per side on the Worksharp Precision Adjustable. Progression is 3/2600, then 0.25 diamond spray strap. Awesome, bud. Awesome. Yeah, those workshops were great. They are awesome. I highly recommend them. I've had cheap knives fail, blisters, pack stuff. I've never had a knife with a good reputation fail. That's why they have good reputations, because they've been, most, not all. And I want to make sure I make that clear. Not all. Okay. So, but most knife reviewers, they are repeating what other people have tested and shown to work. They get it in their hand, then they can see how solid it is. They use it, they try it. Now they're screaming it. So now you have a list of people all saying this is a great knife. So it gets a good reputation. And it gets a good reputation because it's good. So, yes, a knife with a good name is going to have better results, reputation, and probably going to work better for you than a knife that hasn't gotten a reputation yet. What you want to be careful from is the repeaters, the people that, I feel like I'm a dick when I say stuff like this, but you guys know, right? It's like, I can say it and sound like a dick, but you guys know. I don't have to say it. I think everybody can observe somebody who's talking about their knives and showing their knives, but hasn't used them. Now, they might have cut a bag of Doritos, but who gives a fuck about cutting your bag of Doritos? Of course your knife is held up, right? It's like kind of like if I did a long-term review. Can you imagine if I did a long-term review and honestly, I've only cut like 3 bags of Doritos and a piece of cheese? And I'm sitting here telling you how good the edge is lasting, how solid it feels, how it hasn't gotten any lock rock. And, like, of course it doesn't. Why the fuck would it? Right? Like, of course it doesn't. And you can kind of tell that, and you can't expect every knife you have to have a new edge, right? Because you're obviously using more than one knife. You can rotate knives, so it's easy to keep your factory edge if you wanted to. But you kind of tell. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You guys know what I mean. And I don't want to talk shit about anybody or anything like that, but just be careful where your information comes from with certain things. Even with me, right? I repeat things sometimes and I'm 100% honest about it. Like there's things that I didn't fucking, like, here we go. HRC tests. I didn't fucking HRC test shit. I repeat what I heard from other people that I feel is reliable. With certain tests, with certain this, with certain that, I'm repeating what I've heard. Now, I try to replicate things that so let me back up really quick. Getting into sharpening and learning about steels, I started doing it not wanting to take anybody's information and come up with my own. I honestly felt for a while that if I repeated things like that I heard, that I was kind of being I don't know, not a hypocrite, but something like that. So I wanted to have my own results where I was bringing you my opinion, not somebody else's, because most of the shit you hear in this community comes from one person's opinion, one person's perspective, and it grows. It literally grows. You can hear it, you can see it. It's, and like I said, I don't want to talk shit about anybody. I hate doing that. I don't want to do that because I love everybody. But it's like you can't really talk about steel so much unless if you've done the tests and shit like that. But you can repeat what you've heard. And that's what a big majority of the community is going to do. They're going to repeat what they hear. So if, say, some misinformation comes out, a bunch of people are going to be saying the same misinformation across the board. Unless I'm listening but can't type too much, I'm sharpening a customer's pair 3 right now and KME. My attention span is too short for sharpening. Thanks, Lindy. Yeah, you definitely got to pay attention to sharpening. I'm going to do a live sharpening soon, guys, just so you guys know. I'm not sure when, but I'm just going to fucking do it. I'm going to have a day where I'm doing a couple of knives and I'm just going to go live. And if you guys want to join me, you guys can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you guys have any questions or if you guys just want to come in and shoot the shit with me while I'm sharpening. So just heads up, that's going to be happening. That's going to be happening. I always enjoyed the knife sharpening live. I'll probably do this wee malice. This thing needs a new edge. ID2 distracted. Can we see the Rocky? Of course you can see the Rocky. Yeah, it's not. I don't get too distracted because what I do is I focus on the sharpening, then I focus on the comments. Talk on the comments because something I do when I'm I don't always just rush to an edge. Sometimes I will literally do a patient, very slow process on an edge. And I literally just sit down and I enjoy myself. I sit down with my knife. I say, I ain't got shit to do. It's just me and you, baby. That's it. That's what I do. I basically look at the knife and say, it's just me and you, baby. It don't matter how long it takes. We ain't in no rush. We're just going to get it done right. And I sit down, I get my stones, and I'll take me a couple passes and I'll stop. I'll take a look at the edge, sit there and look at the beautiful edge, put on a video, watch a little bit of a video, take a couple more passes. So I could do the same thing talking to you guys. You know, it'll just take a lot longer. Now, if I'm in a rush and I need to get a knife sharpened for somebody or something, of course, I'm grabbing a knife, grabbing my stone, I'm going to work. And I'm not fucking paying attention to nothing but that knife. But, you know, that ain't going to be no fun for the live. I want to be able to talk to you guys, show you guys stuff. You know, if anybody's got any questions about sharpening, they can ask it and I can show it right there. Please hit the like button. Thank you, Monster. Yes, hit that like button. Not me. I fucking slammed my head against the wall halfway through. Motherfucker. Thank you, Fiend. Yes, 21 people. Please hit that like button if you guys wouldn't mind. It only takes a second. You can do it with your nose. Bing. It's real easy. But that's funny as hell, Lindy Lou. Where'd it go? I want to get the Spider Co CBN bench stone, but it's kind of pricey. It is very pricey. The CBN on the double stuff, 2 cuts so fast. Yeah. I got the Neeves, so you know, I love them. I love the Neeves. So the CBNs, I imagine they're similar, but I think the one beautiful thing is they don't glaze. They don't glaze, which the Neeves do. But I don't really mind it so much. I mean, I just clean them as I'm going. But yeah, I imagine they cut the same. Now, the Neeves, they cut great. Very good. But the low grit, it cuts fast, but not as fast as if it was a diamond plate. But it still cuts plenty fast. So, but yeah, I want to try them too. It's just they are expensive, man. They're so expensive. Just like I want to try whatchamacallit stones too, but man, they're just so expensive. What's up, Jared? Great, got a damn busted nose now. Smudge my nose across the phone. Thanks, Jared. No problem, Jared. No problem. As long as you got that like in, I'm happy. And take care of your nose. Heard a knife reviewer with a podcast say he hated the Norseman because they use RWL 34 and they should be using premium steel like M390. You can hate on the Norseman, but that's the worst reason ever. I agree. I don't think that's a good reason. I don't think that's a viable reason. You have many custom knife makers that use CPM 154, 154 CM, and I'll be honest, I'd rather have RWL 34. some people, I like 154 CM. I do. I'm just not a huge fan of the CPM 154. I'd rather have a different steel, but the RWL 34 is a good steel. It's a fucking good steel. Damn, a steel's made from RWL 34. I have no problem with RWL 34 now. And then here's the thing. People, they have to put this into consideration, and nobody ever does. And I wish people would more. It's not about that number. That number means only half. Okay, that's half the issue. The other half is who is doing it, right? They kind of like we're talking about the M390. The M390 that you get from one company and another is going to be completely different. So it doesn't matter if one company will give it to you for $75 and another one charges $300. And I'm not saying the one for $300 is giving you a better heat treat. I'm just saying that they're two different. RWL 34, I believe, is very easy to heat treat. So now if you get it from a company like, if you get it, like say in the Norseman, it's going to be heat treated better than, something else. They've probably done it many times. They've been doing it for a while. They kind of specialize in this shit. Bees Blades, thank you, man. Extra likes from me, you the man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I even dropped myself a like on the iPad. That's how much I'm hoarding these likes right now. Hinders 20 CB needs to become slightly better or more consistently on the good range. It's not cheap. Yeah, I agree. I think they need to scoot it up just a little bit. Now, I don't think Hinders is bad. So there's a difference between a bad heat treat, low HRC, high HRC, good heat treat. It's all different. So I think they're just a little softer, but I think their heat treat is good. I honestly think they're doing a great heat treat because even sharpening it doesn't feel bad. It just feels a little softer than some, and it's not like I hate to say that. And then people think, oh, it's soft. It's soft. It's soft. I'm not saying it's soft. It's good. It's decent. It's softer than other companies might do it, but harder than some, it's just the way it goes. And they do that because it's a hard use knife. It's a knife they're expecting people to pry with. M390 at 20 CV is a hard steel. It's not really, and I'm not saying it's not tough, but it's not 3V, right? It's not a steel that's made for prying. It's made for more cutting performance. So if they lower the HRC just a little bit, it's going to give it a little bit more strength. So it's not too hard and chips or snaps or something like that. Now, in my opinion, it's so thick, they could fucking just raise the HRC because we're fine, right? It's thick enough. You guys made it thicker than a damn pry bar. It'll be okay. And that's my opinion. I don't think anybody's running around snapping Hinders in half if they have a high HRC. But, yeah. Narcissist like your own videos. Yeah, I know. I feel like as machining becomes damn near flawless in production knives across the board, heat treat may get more attention and become an important selling point. I hope so. I would love to see that happen. And I think some companies have, because if you've noticed, the HRC that they're listing has changed than what it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago is basically all the same, and I honestly, I remember this. I could name people that, and this is where it goes, right? I'm not going to name people, but this is exactly what I was just talking about. People repeating other people's words or, what somebody else's opinion is, because everybody was saying, because people would talk, oh, well, what should the HRC be on this steel? Everybody was saying 58 to 60, 58 to 60, 58 to 60. That's what everybody said, that's literally what everybody said for everything. And I didn't know shit. So I'm running around saying this shit too, because I didn't know any better, and everybody's saying 58 to 60. You look up anybody's steel, what does it say? 58 to 60, 58 to 60. It's like, is every steel the same? Because that's what they basically were making it seem like. Now we know every steel's different. Every steel has its happy place. And I'm sure all the knife makers knew that. But the companies that were selling these knives, they were just writing down basically what everybody was saying. And the big fucking thing in the community was 58 to 60. Steel should be HRC 58 to 60. Well, for some steel, but not all steel, just depends on, it's like the next question should be for what steel, it just depends. But that's just everybody repeating what they heard and seen rather than what their study showed or what studies show, for that steel or whatever. Is Meg leaving? Have a great night, Meg. Good night. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Why is that CRKT runs their S35 slightly softer? It's awesome, but a little softer. Yeah, and I don't know why everybody thinks, and I'm not saying they do it bad, but a lot of people think like that they do like the most superior S35 out there. I understand he helped invent S35VM, but I believe he does run it slightly softer. And I'm not saying it's soft. Remember that, I'm not saying it's soft. I'm just saying I think he does it just slightly softer than what the potential could come out to, which I don't know what that is. I'll be honest. I don't know what a high HRC would be on S35. I'm guessing like 61, 62 would probably be high. But I don't know how much that would change it. Now, I'm guessing they run it tiny bit softer because it's a harder use knife and they don't want it chipping and breaking. Because that's the biggest fear, is that if they run the HRCs high, every knife's going to be broken. That's their fear. And I'm not saying that there isn't cases of that, because some cut tests have actually shown that with certain steels, when they were HRC'd really high, that they were chippy. But that doesn't mean every steel, with some of them will do very good. It just depends. Mick says they had to put me in a coma because I wouldn't take intubation. I couldn't breathe. I spent about a week in a coma way out there. Wow, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That fucking sucks, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. I can still play with my knives. That's awesome. Keep playing with them knives. But man, that sucks. Okay, it's past 10 p.m. Got to keep my sleep schedule. Oh yeah, it's 9 here. All right, boss. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for always coming. And thanks for all the support, man. I appreciate you. Grateful Panic is almost at 600 subscribers, and he's planning on doing a giveaway. Can we help him out? Definitely go sub to Grateful Panic. Please help him get up to 1,000 subs. Fuck 600. We're trying to hit 1,000 over there. We're trying to get his ass monetized. Get his ass to 1,000 subs. Enter that giveaway. But yeah, man. Fuck that. We're getting them to 1,000. Everybody get over there. Drop. How many people? We got 73 people in here. Come on, guys. Jump over there and drop them a sub. Jump in the giveaway if you want to win something. But definitely go sub to his channel. He's doing a live stream Tuesday nights. I don't know what time that is. I chat with Knives on the secondary a ton. He's thrilled with the job you did on his Arius. It looks great. Awesome, man. Yeah. What the hell just happened? Sorry, guys. There we go. I want a HRC and a steel I can shred with diamond and polish. Right. You want the happy medium. You want it to sharpen good, very good, and you want it to last. You want to have good edge retention, not too cheap. There is a happy medium, really. It's kind of like even with steel, right? The tougher the steel, many times, right? Most time, like, let's just be real. The toughest steels are usually non-stainless steels. So, sorry, the focus is going out. But we want that fucking shit. We want that range where we're getting good toughness, good stain resistant, if that's a big deal, and good edge retention. And ease of sharpening. I was out in the heat for about an hour. Not too bad, but hot. Here, it's just now starting to warm up. We've had shitty weather this year. It's a very late summer for us. It's been like 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and now it's just now starting to hit 60s and 70s. But I'll say this, when you're used to the cold, that 60, the 70s, 60s, mid 60s, 70s feels warm. It feels hot. I feel like I'm in Florida when it's 70. Feeling good. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Alien Knives DX2 carbon fiber, thinking about that, or the Eclipse buoy. I got the 0393 right here. This thing's pretty damn sweet. The ZTs. Man, I want ZT to do so good. If I could run ZT's company for 6 months or a year, and I know I sound like a narcissistic prick right now, but in my opinion, I feel like if they just made 3 huge decisions, their company would through the fucking roof. But all right, Ethan, thanks for joining, man. Everybody seems like they're about to take off. What time is it? It is that time to tell a story. Maybe we'll just save a story for next week because the one was kind of a long story and I don't know how appropriate it is. We'll sit here and bullshit though for a few more minutes. I meant to hinder. Yeah, I know you did. I know what you meant. That's just what I have right here. So I got the ZT. It reminded me of it. I got one of those composite dividends by Kershaw, and it may be one of the worst I ever got. Holy shit. Damn. Yeah. I still think they're great. I just think they can do so much better. There's just little details. Like they have either something fucking great and awesome or something that I think is just crap. One of the two. And that's just my opinion. Now, I just think they have so much potential to make amazing knives. Like their build quality, their fit, their finish, their action, their detents, their everything is on point. But then some of their builds, some of them don't make sense. And then the ones that do make sense are amazing. But then, I don't know. If they just made if they hooked up with a couple designers, right? A couple great designers and built their design, they'd knock it out of the park. And if they would just do a good grinds. They gotta fucking start thinning out their grinds. They're making hard use grinds on EDC knives. It's like either you're doing a hard use knife or an EDC knife, and don't mix the two. Like make a hollow grind if you have to. Like, can you imagine the 0562 with a hollow grind? I think the 0562 is fine the way it is. I think it's a great knife. Build knives like that. And if you're going to build knives in this range, which I understand, this one, but just saying in this size of knife, make them slicey. Raise your HRCs. Fix your heat treats a little bit. Not all. Okay, let's do some story time. Okay, so we got 2 stories. Well, I'm going to tell a quick one. Just one quick one. What? No, why? What's wrong?
I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. Let me take a hit because I was going to take a hit before the story. Oh, shit. So, this is when I was young. I was really young. And I was going over this person's house for the first time. I had never been in his house before. Mind you, I'm young. So, you know, you meet friends around the neighborhood. Everybody meets friends around the neighborhood. And you remember like being a kid and going to somebody's house for the first time. You didn't know what to expect. You walk in their house, you know, like the smell, the look, you know, the people, depending on if there's somebody there or not. You know, you get a certain vibe. Sometimes you have parents that are great parents and they meet you and talk to you. And, you know, like everybody remembers that as a kid. Well, when I walked into this dude's house, like right away, I knew something was off. Like I walk in and it's a mess. And I don't mean just a mess, like it's a fucking mess. The smell hit me like pretty much right away. Like this is dysfunctional, right? And I didn't say nothing, you know. There was a lot of people's houses. I had been in a bunch of houses that were kind of like that. Like I had one buddy lived down the street. When I first walked into his house, the first thing I seen was a body-sized hole through the damn drywall. So, you know, not much was surprising me. But when I walked in, you know, as I'm looking around, there's a lot of things, like just stuff. But the stuff has dust on it. Like it's not moved. And no adults. There was no adult there. And it's not that I thought that was weird as a kid, you know, or anything like that, but it just was, right? There was no adult there. And I didn't know this kid well. Like, I had maybe known him for a day, just like a few days at this point. And so we're, you know, walking through his house. We get to this back room, where it's like the back of the house. Well, the back of the house, it's like a porch, right? So it's like the backyard. It's a porch. I think it was technically the front of the house, though. So we went in through the back door. So the front of the house was like a front porch area, but this is where his stuff was. So all his stuff was there, and toys and like just stuff boys would have. And I'm looking around, and like I said, I already felt off. And this is where it gets fucking crazy. So as I'm sitting there looking around, I remember, you guys remember those old football, those toy bins? It looked like a football and you could put your toys in there and there was like a cap to it. I even had one as a kid. But right when I was looking at that, you know, I was looking like into it. I look up, the fucking kid has a razor blade and he comes at my face with it. He literally just lunges at me, just right to my face. Out of nowhere. And thank God, like I had like cat-like reflexes or something, because I just grabbed his arm. I grabbed his arm and the razor's right here in my face. And he's trying to cut my face up with a razor. And I mean, this is out of nowhere.
Did you say, like, dude, what are you doing?
I didn't have a chance. I never had a chance. Literally, it was like I was looking down and then he was on top of me. And now, like, I'm pushed. Like there's like a window or something or a wall. This was a long time ago, so it's hard to remember. But then the football thing, I remember the football thing was right there. And I'm like struggling to stop him from cutting my face up with this razor blade. Just a razor blade. And now, as a grown man, you know, like, fuck a razor blade. You know, like I know you could do some damage with a razor blade, but you know, but as a kid, you know, that razor blade, you know, and it's so close to my face. Like that's the next thing. Oh, it would have messed me up big time. But I'm just saying, like, and anyway, so the fact that it was so close to my face and I'm struggling, and I got lucky that I overpowered him. And I just basically, because I had his arm, I overpowered him, and I, you know, because of the adrenaline just went through the fucking roof, like, you know, survive, you know, basically, like you're gonna die. So fucking get the fucking working, you know. So I pushed him off me with everything I had, and I remember he hit the wall hard as shit, and I just went running. I didn't fucking stop to argue, to ask him what's going on. I already knew what time it was. It was time to get the fuck out of there. So I scooted the fuck out of there. Well, I found later on, like he had issues. Like later on in life, he wound up. something happened with his sister and I don't think he ever did anything. I don't know if he did anything to her, but something happened. His grandma was the one who lived there. That's why the house looked the way it was. His grandma was raising him. He didn't have parents, and he was in BD classes. So at the time, I wasn't. BD classes, behavior disorder classes. So I wound up in BD classes later on, but at that time I was not in BD classes. So we weren't in no classes together or anything. Even though we went to the same school, lived in the same neighborhood, we weren't in the same classes at that time. So I didn't know much about him, just, around the neighborhood. But later on, I had ran into this dude many times in my life younger. He wound up getting locked up. He wound up going after somebody with a baseball bat or something to do with his sister, and he wound up like hurting somebody really bad with a baseball bat. I got into like 5 fights with him growing up. So that was just the first one. We wound up getting into many fights growing up. We even got into a fight at the old roller rink. That's why everybody got in a fight. They wound up shutting that place down because of all the bullshit. I don't know if that's exactly why they shut it down, but I think they shut it down because of all the gang violence at it. There was a bunch of shoot. Last time I was there, I remember like there was like a gang fight and everything there. People were getting shot and stuff, so they kind of shut it down. But yeah, it was pretty crazy though. But that first experience with him, I learned obviously something's wrong with this dude, like mentally, and he does. He had something wrong with him, and I learned more about it later. So I was going to tell a funny story, but I don't know if it's appropriate. So I'm just going to wait till next time with it. Maybe think about not telling it or telling it. It's about when I worked at the nursing home, and I just don't know if it's appropriate because it's not, right? No. Yeah, it's not appropriate. So I'm just going to, well, I have so many stories from when I worked at the nurse. So let me just give a little context so I'm not leaving these guys hanging. When my dad got hurt, I went and worked at a nursing home for like 2 years. Taking, like you're about to tell the story. I'm not. Taking care of Alzheimer's and dementia units. I was a resident helper. So I basically just helped keep them safe, confined, and yada, yada. I wasn't a CNA, but I helped take care of them. And since I worked the units I did, a lot of crazy things happened. But, it is elderly people, so I don't think it's appropriate to tell. Now, I'm just going to finish this off. Right, that's my point. So maybe one day we'll talk a little bit about some weird things I've seen.
Things like the napkin guy and stuff like that. But I think if you're talking about embarrassing shit, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think I was going to say nothing embarrassing. I was just going to talk about like a couple crazy things that happened there. But let me tell a story about Breeze real quick since Breeze is in here. So when we were kids, we got a set of go-karts, and I'm not talking about like fucking going to the carnival go-karts. I'm talking about fucking racing go-karts. These things were like little Indy cars. They're fast as shit. His was actually a little bit faster than mine because you guys don't know, but he's a little bit older than me. So when we were kids, his was a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. Anyways, so these things were really low to the ground. I mean, like super low to the ground, but they were fast, like very fast. Like they did like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. What? Yeah, mine maxed out, I think it's 60 miles an hour, and I think Breeze's was like 80 to 100. I forget exactly what Breeze's maxed out to, but his high end was way faster than mine, but like the 0 to 60 was the same. But yeah, these things were fucking wicked fast. They were like little crotch rockets, but they're race cars, so you could turn on a dime. Anyway, so we're on well, Breeze is driving on like our family's road, and it's a hill like this, right? And he's going, and cars obviously go down the road. Well, there's a parked car there, right? And then a fence and a ditch. So there's a ditch on the side of the road, just like roads have ditches. And on the other side of the ditch is a fence. So when Breeze is going, he's already moving. These things are fucking fast. So they can stop fast, But when there's a car coming and a parked car in the way, Breeze had to make a choice. Is he going to take the car or is he going to take the ditch, right? Which one you taking, Breeze? You know which one Breeze took. He took the ditch, but he didn't wind up in the ditch. He went over the ditch. There was a Breeze and a go-kart sized hole through the fence. Bam! Right through the fence. He literally fucking turned over the ditch, through the fence, and there was a Breeze hole. A Breeze and a go-kart hole through the fence. Fucking hilarious. I think it's hilarious. At the time, I'm sure he shit his pants, you know, because when you got to make a decision like that, you know, it's like, which one's most probable I'm going to survive, right? Not the car, you know, I'm going to take the ditch. But when you're going fast enough, you're not going to wind up in the ditch. You're going right over the ditch. And that's basically what he did. Yeah, good times. We had a lot of good times ripping and racing and having fun. I'm sure he could tell it way better than I could because he was the one who actually did it. You know, I'm just an observer. But yeah. And I remember fucking seeing that hole for a few days and just, you know, thinking about it because it honestly, it was shaped like him. Like it literally had the fucking shape of him. But yeah, it was definitely, we had some good times with those go-karts. They're fast, man. Very fast. And had a similar story on a four-wheeler, ended up with a concussion. Yeah, Breeze, man, he's broke his arm. I know he broke his arm at least once, maybe twice on a four-wheeler. We grew up just like ripping everything. Dirt bikes, four-wheelers, go-karts, golf carts, sprees, everything you can imagine. We were racing and driving and fucking up. Like big time. We definitely wrecked a lot of things, demolished a lot of things, chopped a lot of things, just everything. So we had a lot of fun ripping and racing. I have a metal, there you go. I have a metal plate in my arm from a four-wheeler. Yeah, or from an ATV. Because he had the nice, a good size four-wheeler, but then he also had man, I can't remember the name of it. Oh man, what the hell are those things called? They're like one of those off-roading cars with the cages. Breeze had one of those. I can't think of the name of it though right now. But yeah, you know, when you get into enough accidents, I mean, shit, you're gonna fuck your shit up. I know I got hurt a lot of times. One time my leg got dragged up an asphalt hill. Just regular asphalt hill, but my leg was under the tire and it got dragged halfway up the hill, lost all my skin. I still got scars on my legs from it. But yeah, good times. Oh, Monster says I've crashed my share. Yeah, but fun times though, right? Like even snowmobiles, just snowmobiles, everything, they're all fun, good times. Thanks for getting me hooked on Tucson. Absolutely. You gotta love some Tucsons, man. And at this point, if you're sleeping on Tucson, you're the one, it's your loss. It's your loss because they are that good and very affordable. They're super, super well. I mean, they have all the bells and whistles just like React. And it's hard to beat that price. All right, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I got degloved on a motorcycle in my 20s and had my finger plated and screwed back on. Good time. That sounds like a good time. My dad always had a saying when I'd get hurt. He would say, if I was like, whatever, like I hit a tree, right? He'd say, "Did you like it?" And he'd make me say this. He'd make me say, "I loved it." So, did you like it? I fucking loved it. I loved it. Broken bones caused by four-wheelers. Ain't that the truth? You're gonna break some bones? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Good night, everybody. I love all you guys. Thank you guys for the donations. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. 70 people are still in here. You guys are all amazing. Don't forget to drop a like on your way out. And if you're not subbed, why not? Why not? Why don't you just drop that sub? Help me get to my goal of 10,000. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Peace out. Dun, 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 dun.